Hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. Southampton has never been easy in the recent years. It's always been a challenge, going to Southampton and getting uh, result and stuff. Last season we must remember that they have held us twice to a draw, I think. If you remember last season, I think in the first fixture Raheem Sterling was offside for a Phil Foden goal. At least this time we don't have Raheem Sterling to create that sort of a nonsense. So this time I think if we, I think it's gonna be a bit of a difficult scenario for me visualizing that we don't score in a match with Southampton. I think it was nil-nil and 1-1 last time. It was nil-nil in the first leg and it was 1-1 in the return leg. And in the return leg as well, Raheem Sterling missed an open goal if you see. So I think nil-nil has, it can happen, but the probability is very, very less, especially with Erling Haaland in there. I think in all of the games I've played this season, there's been no game where we didn't score. We've always scored. So it's going to be an interesting battle. And Southampton have been on a pretty bad run of form. I think they've lost four of their last five fixtures, and so they lost against Leicester last time, who themselves are struggling. They lost against Leicester even though they opened the scoring last weekend. But the law of averages generally it catches up. So at some point of time, a team that is losing has to, get a positive result. It happened with Aston Villa, and unfortunately, they didn't win against us, but they got some points against us. So I just hope that we make a quick start, fast start, and coming to the lineup. Very happy with the lineup. I think this probably is close to Pep's best lineup. I won't say this is Pep's best lineup. The surprise for me is Diaz starting and Ake playing at left back because I thought Sergio Gomez. I know he might want to give rest to Sergio Gomez and stuff, but I thought Sergio Gomez has to play on that left hand side, especially given his performance against Copenhagen in the midweek. He was very quick in his thinking. He was aggressive in his attacking play. An interesting fact was I was also looking at it today morning that Sergio Gomez did not allow even one player to dribble past him. He had conceded zero takedowns against Copenhagen. So Sergio Gomez has actually impressed defensively as well whenever he has started. Misplaced passes a few times, but that is due to lack of being on the same wavelength. But in terms of defensive positioning, in terms of not leaving his man behind or things like that. In a simple way, I would say, in terms of making mistakes like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Sergio Gomez has not done that at all. So I actually think maybe Pep should have started him. Ake on the left, he has improved a lot on the ball, so that will be interesting to see. Because last year, Ake on the left, I would say no chance for Ake on the left because last season he was almost, especially in the first half of the season, Ake was not at all good with the ball. He was almost, kind of a defensive player. But this season he has improved so much. He's been a best defender along with Akanji. I think I thought that Akanji and Ake will start every Premier League game, and the midweek game will be Diaz, Laporte, something like that. But the pairing of Ake, Akanji has been absolutely good. And I'm a bit surprised because I think Pep would want to give Ake and Akanji as much time as possible, playing together, understanding each other. Both of them have been absolutely good, but the more they play with each other, the more they will understand each other, and the better only it can get. So it's um, it's a bit surprising that he put Ake on the left. But again, you could say the same thing about Diaz Akanji. Pep wants Diaz and Akanji to develop that understanding. Pep wants Laporte to develop that understanding with Akanji because you never know which centre back could be injured when, especially in this kind of a season, and when the pairing can be split. So I understand Pep's thought process behind that. Cancelo for me has to get back to form. He's looked unlike himself, especially. Uh, he's looked good against United and stuff, but overall, if you see Cancelo's season, Cancelo for me is the best left back in the world coming into this season. There's no doubt about it. And Cancelo, I think he's not quite hit those standards this season yet. So on the right, on his stronger foot, that will be interesting to see how it goes for Joao Cancelo. You would say Mahrez is a surprise, but Pep would want Mahrez. It's not a surprise because as the season goes through, Pep would want the experience of Mahrez to come into the fold, especially when you play teams like Liverpool and stuff. And as the games come on, when you get into tight situations, you would want your players like Mahrez to be in top form because it's just the sheer experience of Mahrez being there doing that. You know, you can if he's in good form, you can just put him on and tell him to change a game. So I think Pep would really want Mahrez to uh, get up to the races. It's been kicked off. Manuel Akanji, City are passing the ball about with the panache, with the intensity. There's already a spark in the way we are passing the ball. This is interesting. Ederson is calming things down. And one thing Pepper's done well is he's not played both Mahrez and Grealish. I mean, he can't because Phil Foden, he'll have to give a chance. But generally, I hope Pepper's realized the mistake that, Mahrez and Grealish can't play together. It's almost like, snooze fest kind of a combination. That's a speculative long ball. Press from City is on. That is excellent pressing, and Bernardo Silva retrieves the ball. City are on the front foot straight away. So I've got my lineup slightly wrong on the screen. It's actually Phil Foden who's playing through the right. No, it's Riyad Mahrez. That was a chance. That was a chance, mate. Riyad Mahrez is playing through the right. I actually thought he was playing to the left, but that was a chance. Mahrez on his stronger foot, cutting in, ball to the far post. Mahrez should have been burying it. If not Mahrez, then it fell to, Phil Foden, and Phil Foden thought he was giving it to Erling Haaland, but I think the touch just let him down, the knock down, the touch just let him down, but that should honestly have been 1-0 to City within 1 minute 40 seconds. A really good start, and it's Gavin Bazunu in goal. If you guys remember, he's part of the City group. I was close to say he's been a City player, but no, he's part of the City group, and he's played in the Championship for Middlesbrough, if I'm not wrong. And he's said to be one of the highly rated talents. Bernardo Silva pressing again. Southampton are almost tied in a knot over there. Oh, that was close from Ederson, but with Ederson on the ball, you can say you cannot say anything is close. But the ball's been taken away there from Riyad Mahrez. City have put the press on over there. Southampton have a chance to put a ball into the box. That's very well done on the recovery there. And Phil Foden comes back to help Nathan Ake. Mahrez with the mistake over there. Southampton still have the ball. It's been end to end. It's not been Southampton just sitting, and the referee has done well to just let the gameplay on the far side. There was space on the far side. If only someone had let lifted his head up. There was definite space on the far side there. Two players were running. I think it was Mahrez and someone, but Erling Haaland, I think it was, he didn't see the player on the right hand side. But Southampton are aggressive here. They're quick here, and the Southampton player is already down, and it's just 3 minutes on the clock. But what a chance from Riyad Mahrez. For Riyad Mahrez in the first minute itself. He had to score on that chance. He had to surely score on that chance, Riyad Mahrez. Suddenly, City are kicking into gear. The way we've been playing especially in the last two matches after the international break, it's almost like, I think in the COVID hit season, when we were almost, ninth, 10th in the table and stuff, and suddenly we had a match against Chelsea where we were just ripping it on. I think we scored six or something against Chelsea in that match, five or six, and then we went on to win the title. We went on a good winning run then. So I actually think that it seems like that the way we've been playing since the international break, in terms of our intensity, in terms of the spark in the eye of players, especially. Riyad Mahrez there. I just think that he had to score there on his stronger foot. Riyad Mahrez, that's Riyad Mahrez speciality. I think Erling Haaland for once was just ahead of the ball. That's very rare even. Erling Haaland always anticipates the ball well. That was your customary Erling Haaland goal. If it was just a few steps behind, City have started the game well, but on the other hand, even Southampton have been aggressive. So will be an interesting game again. And Gavin Bazunu also likes to play with the feet. It's not Edison level or so, but he's not as bad as a David De Gea with the feet, for example. I think none of the players coming from the City group or the City academy can be as bad as David De Gea or some of the other keepers with the feet. That's impossible. Addison with the distribution over there, the build-up has been very smooth. Akanji has been very good. A little bit of mistakes from Riyad Mahrez, for example, that has led to almost a chance for Southampton. Addison taking his time on the build-up there. Joa Cancelo there. Kevin De Bruyne does extremely well. That was a rare misplaced pass from Kevin De Bruyne there. Otherwise, Erling Haaland I think was through. Riyad Mahrez was through over there. There were at least 1 2 players who were through. City are very aggressive in the press. They are just not giving Southampton even a moment to rest. They're just going bang bang onto the ball. It's actually interesting. So I've got it wrong again in the lineup. Akanji is playing on the right, and Joao Cancelo is playing on the left. Kanji at right back. That will be interesting. Again, a misplaced pass. On this right hand side, I think this happened twice or thrice, the misplaced passes. And Akanji had nothing to do with those misplaced passes. Now Southampton misplays a pass, and it's Erling Haaland who retrieves the ball. Erling Haaland runs with the ball. It was 2 defenders, and but Kevin De Bruyne retrieves the ball again, and it's Erling Haaland who's through. Gavin Bazoon who just gets out at the right time. Wow, that was such an intense phase of play. Erling Haaland just looked to puzzle through 2 centre backs. You look at it, both the centre backs had to almost be on full stretch to somehow get the ball. It is just a millisecond, not even a second. And City get the ball again, but the referee tells it's a free kick for Southampton. I would love to see Akanji come forward more and put those crosses into the box. His attack is so good attacking wise. 7 minutes gone, it's been nil-nil. City have had chances, at least one clear-cut chance, 2 chances which Kevin De Bruyne. I would say chances because those passes were misplaced by Kevin De Bruyne. Manuel Akanji, always conscious of what is happening ahead of him and behind him. Such an important attribute. Edison, I would not use the term hurried here or something because Edison is never hurried, but I would say a bit of miscalculation from Edison over there. This is the second time it has happened. Is Edison taking things too easy there? I mean, he always takes things too easy. I mean, if you don't take things too easy, how can you be a goalkeeper who doesn't have nerves in a Pep Guardiola team? That's very well defended by Ruben Diaz. Manuel Akanji was beaten there for once. Southampton are slowly growing into the game over there. But Southampton will be wary that City are extremely lethal on the counter as well. It's a long throw for Southampton. It's deep into the box, but it's not gone where. Ake, it was intended, and Panado. They have managed to take the ball wide, and it's a cross into the box. Ederson should be the favorite to it. He is. Eddie just released someone. He's released someone very fast, and City look to go on a counter. No, they've controlled the tempo of the game and kept the ball. Something which Pep thought is very important, and we missed against Newcastle. Akanji is not at all coming forward. It's as if he's been instructed just to stay back, stay back. Has to be an instruction, but that is very well done by Rodri. Excellent. And Joe Cancelo is away, and it's the ball's just way heavy, too heavy there for Phil Foden. This just summarizes Joe Cancelo's form there. He's so world class that he can just get back into form, but it just tells you the state in which Joe Cancelo is there right now. Oh, that is well done. And Rodri is almost taken out of the game. It's Manuel Akanji 1v1. But that is very well defended by Manuel Akanji. But there to bring the player onto his weaker foot. But Rodri was just taken out there of the game. Just a while back, Akanji was taken out of the game. So just think we need to tighten up a bit in our defense. Pep would want a clean sheet today. Phil Foden there. Phil Foden running with the ball, and Phil Foden does extremely well to keep the ball. Wonderful work by Phil Foden. He recycles it back to Rodri. Rodri to Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz to Manuel Akanji. Rodri there, playing a forward-looking pass, and that's a foul, and Kevin De Bruyne, ref. Yes. Salisu there committing the foul, and if you remember, we were linked to Salisu in the summer transfer window as well, with rumors of Ake joining Chelsea and stuff. I'm just happy that all of those rumors didn't happen and Ake persisted to stay at City. Because at that time, it was almost like a no-brainer to go to a Chelsea team, especially when Tuchel was there. They played three at the back, and Ake was a definite starter, bang on starter over there. The rumors that he might be offered the Chelsea captainship as well. It just didn't make sense for Ake to stay, but Ake stayed, worked hard, and we're all glad that he stayed. Joao Cancelo, what a ball! But is he offside? Riyad, but I think is he offside? Riyad Mahrez again had to score there if he wasn't offside. I know it's a volley, it's very difficult to control, especially with the ball, coming out looping. I just think he was on there. I don't know, maybe someone on the far side, on the Mahrez side was playing him, but that is again a Riyad Mahrez speciality, hitting the volley first time. You saw he did it against United last time, so Mahrez missed it. Two chances and Mahrez should have had two goals. Second ball. We have done well on the second balls here. Ruben Diaz is suddenly looking very good. Southampton are, their system is actually looking solid here. There's some of cutting of the supply to Erling Haaland. They're just making it a bit cramped. So I think we should be a little bit more inventive with the fullbacks overlapping a bit more, just someone running through the midfield. It's surprising that Kevin De Bruyne is playing much more deeper than he actually does. So I haven't seen Kevin De Bruyne, get on the ball as much in this first 13 minutes. So that actually tells you, and that is very rare. What a ball! Erling Haaland! Did it come off the post? I think it did. But Haaland was convinced that it almost would go in. When did you see Erling Haaland miss those? But what a ball that is for Erling Haaland into space. And yes, it hit the upright. It hit the post over there. Erling! Oh, hit the post. Goalkeeper was beaten. Unlucky Erling. The goalkeeper was beaten over there. What a finish. What a cool finish that was from Erling Haaland. How City are not at least 2-0 up is beyond me. Mahrez at least has scored one of the two chances he's had, and Erling Haaland's unlucky over there. It's an offside call against Southampton. JSK is here. Hey JSK, did you see Erling Haaland hitting the post over there? But the finish was just out of this world. The way he finished it, just unlucky that it just hit the post. But honestly, we should be at least 2-0 up here, if not 3-0. Mahrez missed an easy chance early on in the first minute, and Erling Haaland hitting the post. But we are in a very, very good spell of play. I think we need to make these spells of play count. We have been doing it this season, I know. Great switch from Bernardo Silva, left to right. Wonderful, wonderful touch from Manuel Akanji. Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz there under a bit of pressure, but he does well to evade 2-3 Southampton players over there. Joao Cancelo, Rodri. I think Southampton is playing a midfield diamond here. The space is up front, the space is in behind. If you can play those balls in for Erling Haaland. JSK says Mahrez is more like a bench player like Ronaldo. His time in the starting 11 is over. But I maybe think JSK that Pep Guardiola wants to make sure that he is also up and running. Suppose if there's an injury or if there's a match where you require an experienced player to play in a crunch game or something. So I think Pep wants to utilize that experience of Riyad Mahrez. We've got the ball in the middle and it's Bernardo Silva. He sprayed it very well to the left hand side. Joao Cancelo on it. Joao put the ball into the box. Joao Cancelo cuts inside and Joao Cancelo lifts one for Riyad Mahrez, which is impossible for even a Superman to get to. Cancelo is another one who is like out of form. I actually want Cancelo to come back to form quicker because an informed Riyad Mahrez would. I mean, just imagine Phil Foden getting onto those chances from the right hand side. How we did against United, you know. I think we should easily have been 2-0 up here. Southampton playing a long ball. Nathan Ake does well. The covering from Nathan Ake is extremely good. He's so calm on the ball nowadays. And he does very well to get the ball out of this thing. Again a false decision. Again a bad decision. Why are you so much in a hurry to just play the ball in behind to Haaland? String a couple of passes together. Don't make it so obvious. That's the thing. We are getting chances here. The City are recognizing where the space is in behind the opponent and out wide, especially in the switch, especially with Riyad Mahrez. Spaces with Riyad Mahrez here. It's almost like Southampton are very happy to leave the ball with Riyad Mahrez. Joao Cancelo. Joao Cancelo does extremely well to beat his man. And that's a corner, I think. I mean, once Joao Cancelo beats his man, I think he just has to lift it into the box. Because once you lift it into the box, I just think that you give 90% of a chance of a probability for Haaland to score. You know, he's taller than anyone, he's physical than everyone. Once he beats his man, he just has to lift it into the box, that's it. And we know how good Haaland's speciality is to put balls in even though there's no pace on the ball, you know, from crosses. Riyad Mahrez again trying to hit it on a volley. On form, I think Mahrez scores a hat trick in the first 18 minutes. That seems ridiculous. It could seem that, what are you talking about? Balls on the volley are so hard to strike, not for Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez is a speciality in that. His technique is so good in that. So, on another day, Mahrez would have got a hat trick. But 18 minutes gone, you know. With every ticking minute, it's almost like Southampton are surviving. You also have to remember that City are the last unbeaten team left in the league. Gavin Bazunu with a long kick. Second ball. Win the second ball. Very well done. We have won the second ball. Very well done by Rodri over there. We get it. Spray it wide. He's done absolutely well to spray it wide. The City player down, but doesn't matter. He's done very well. Joao Cancelo again. Joao Cancelo scores! Joao Cancelo is back! Joao Cancelo! Who told that you're out of form? Joao Cancelo! Yes! Who is it telling you that you're out of form? Joao! So happy with you! I mean, if you show this goal to someone who doesn't follow football, he'll think that Joe Cancelo is a winger. And is not a fullback. The way he cut inside, the way he dribbled past his man, and the way he placed it into bottom corner. Raheem Sterling, who is a natural winger, can't even do it in his entire lifetime. And that too was the finish of his weaker foot. Yes, the finish was of his weaker left foot. So, wow, this is just excellent from Joaquin Shallow. Wonderful, it's not easy to, strike it from that angle, especially there's another centre back who's covering. He's almost hit it between the centre back and the keeper. And JSK says, just you are calling him out of form. If this means that City players who are out of form score goals, I will call out even Riyad Mahrez as well. All the time on my show. Let me just change the score line. I just hope we go on to get at least one more before the break. But that's just wonderful play from Joao Cancelo. Now another thing we want is Riyad Mahrez, getting onto the score sheet. That would just make it complete, guys. I mean, I know it's only October, but it suddenly seems that we're already in the midst of something that is so memorable to come. It already feels that we are in the midst of something special. I know it's just October, but it just feels like that. You have that gut feeling. It just feels like that this year. I don't know why. I can't explain you why, but it just feels that it could be a big, big special season for us. But Erling Haaland hitting the post. Oh, ball given away there, ball given away. Press, 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 press. Look at the press that is on, and that is wonderful. That is wonderful pressing there. City are on it. We guys are on it. Phil, just go with him. Just go with him. Don't leave your man. Joa, yes, that is wonderful work by Joa Cancelo. Look at it. Cancelo defending 1v1. Cancelo with his acrobatic style of defending, and then retrieving the ball just with some piece of skill. Amazing. You can just look at the skill of Joa Cancelo over there. That is suddenly the sign of someone with great confidence. JSK says, don't understand why not starting Gomez. JSK, the only reason could be that Pep feels he needs a bit more time to, start regularly. You've seen it happen with, for example, Leroy Sané, when he was good in the first few games, but then remember he was very good against Manchester United in the first couple of games, I think in 2017 when he signed, but still Pep took almost till December, January to make him a regular player in the team. I mean, he misplaced a few passes against United, and against Copenhagen as well. But so I think Pep maybe feels he needs to develop a little bit more understanding between the players. And also another thought process could be Pep wants to try out Akanji at right back. Walker will not be there, Stones will not be there. So suddenly it almost feels that there's a void and a gap developing in the right back position. Maybe I think Pep wants to make sure it doesn't hit us in a big game. In a big game in the future also, for example, Pep knows who to play in the right back position if Walker is not there. So I think Pep is trying out a couple of things, and also I think it's easier to try out when your team is doing extremely well and settle down. So I think a couple of things go into why Gomez isn't playing, but Gomez has been excellent overall, except 2, 3, 4% of the flaws. I mean, not just Gomez, Alvarez is another case. Pep is not starting Alvarez as well. Alvarez deserves to play so much. Whenever Pep starts him, he gets goals. He gets 1 goal, 2 goals. He doesn't do any mistake. I guess Pep might be finding it extremely hard. That's an ambitious ball, played through the middle by Gavin Bazunu. Bazunu can play with the ball. But the way our defense is, played through Southampton's press has been wonderful. It's the midfield, especially, Kevin De Bruyne somehow today he's been dispossessed 1, 2 times. He's missed 1, 2 through balls. I know it could happen, the very best, but that's been the only criticism of the game till now. But It's very clear that Southampton's game plan till now has been, press our centre backs. But our centre backs has been, especially Ruben Diaz, but they don't know Ruben Diaz is also very good on the ball. By City standards, he might not be as good, but in Premier League standards, he's up there in the top 3, 4 just ball playing centre backs. That's a corner for City. It's a left-footed corner, which will be by Riyad Mahrez, which will be taken by Mahrez, and in swinging corner. That's the beauty about it. And Erling Haaland will be in business here. I just hope they don't play it short. KFC is here. He says, "Hello sir, kya haal hai?" City is playing very well. In swinging corner, and they are looking for Natanake. I think Natanake is also an extremely good header of the ball. And it's a handball by Natanake, and he did it because, unknowingly. It was not an intentional one, unintentionally, but just bought time to get back there. Gavin Bazoo, no City are starting to press now. So almost like we're pressing in a 4-2-2 almost sometimes. Sorry, 4-4-2 with both De Bruyne and Erling Haaland going for the press. Akanji does well again. It again seems that Akanji has been playing that position. And what idiots are Southampton? They're trying to place Bernardo Silva there. There's no player born in the world who can press Bernardo Silva. He's almost unpressable. He's almost like a Modric. There are a few players, David Silva, Modric, Xavi. You just can't press them. Bernardo Silva is already in that category. That's why there's no doubt that, Xavi wants Bernardo Silva because he sees a reflection of him in Bernardo Silva. Wonderful triangle between Akanji, Mahrez and Kevin De Bruyne. Ruben Diaz there is looking for the diagonal and he manages it and he gets the ball to Phil Foden and it's Joao Cancelo there on the left hand side and a wonderful ball by Joao Cancelo and it's blocked by and the crossing is blocked by Phil Foden. JSK says I literally don't understand how Modric is playing so well at 37. Yeah, I hope KDB can do it. That's the hope, JSK. It's not just for KDB as a player, but also for City as a team. Just imagine Phil Foden there in a goal scoring position. Phil Foden. Oh, it was in a tight space and they choose to pass to Kevin De Bruyne and Southampton get the ball back. But I thought Foden will pull the trigger. Sometimes in those situations it's best to pull the trigger. At least a deflection. It could fall to someone like Erling Haaland. You never know. But a 1-goal lead is almost like filling water in a pocket full of holes. The water is slowly, drop by drop, going down. 1-goal lead is nothing in a game of football. We need to go 2 up. And the ball goes out of play. Not just for KDB as a player, but also I think for City as a club, it would be awesome to have KDB at 37. Just imagine the amount of knowledge he can, relay to our youngsters, the amount of, benefit that our academy graduates and players at every level in our academy will get from Kevin De Bruyne. I just hope he continues to play till 37, or at least what Dino did till 35. And I do hope De Bruyne wants to become a manager, and I do think Pep also stays till then, and for another 4-5 years, and then KDB learns a few things from Pep, and the dream is for KDB to be the next City manager after that. I know that is ridiculous what I'm saying, but that would be just superb, right? See, there are so many candidates who could be City managers. You have Vincent Kompany, Fernandinho. I've heard that KDB also wants to do the management stuff. Gundogan is definitely doing his management badges. Erling Haaland with the strike over there, but the defender just, he made his body big like a balloon, like when you blow air into a balloon, and he somehow stopped the shot. JSK says right now Arteta is the best option for successor of Pep. and he's getting some pretty good experience at Arsenal as well. When we take Arteta from Arsenal, I mean, if we take Arteta from Arsenal, I just can't imagine how much those Arsenal fans will, cry. Ah, that was just a mistouch there. But Joe Cancelo, okay, Nathan, just go tight with him, and Nathan Ake does very well because that was Adam Armstrong, and he has some explosive pace. Southampton have 32% possession. They're already better than Man United at this stage. Yes, JSK, like you said, Arteta is the one that comes to mind, but maybe in the next 2, 3 years, 4 years, I hope Pep renews his contract at the end of the season. Next 3, 4 years, maybe I think we find someone else. You never know. But I actually thought Graham Potter could always be a very good successor of Pep. I think we talked on our shows also numerous amount of times why Graham Potter could be the perfect successor of Pep, but he has gone to Chelsea. People wanted Eric Ten Hag. That would not happen because he's gone to United. But 3, 4 years is a long time in the in football world. So actually, I think there will be some other manager. Developments happen fast, and there could be another manager who would be making his mark over there. Or you never know, our very own Vincent Company or someone like that could also come. Phil Foden there. Phil Foden does well to get the ball. Phil Foden driving into the box. Southampton are being put to the sword here, but it's just that we're not able to finish them off. I think it would maybe need an Erling Haaland goal to finish them off. Kevin De Bruyne does very well. Phil Foden there. Phil has to score. Phil Foden scores! What a finish! What a finish! What a finish from Phil Foden there! And at the starting of the season, we were talking that this guy has to learn finishing and stuff. And look at it. And last season, all of those finishes would fall to your Raheem Sterling's and stuff. And what they would have done in that situation, never in a million years can Raheem Sterling finish in that way. And no one is offside over there. Look at the kind of cool finish over there. That is wonderful. That is wonderful there. And just like that, when you were thinking De Bruyne is out of form and stuff, he just turns a dime and he produces another assist. De Bruyne, I think, is one more assist away. He's got 9, I think, in the Premier League. He's one more assist away from getting into double figures. Vinay says, now please goals for Haaland. That will come, Vinay. Hopefully that will come. But Haaland should have had a goal. It's just luck, some days. Because Haaland's finish was also very good. It just hit the woodwork early on in the match. JSK says, I think it's our year for UCL. Maybe JSK, we are hoping, but then I think especially this season, what I'm feeling is there is something special on the horizon. Can't say what that special thing is. Just game by game, just will enjoy the moments. Just enjoy the way Haaland scoring goals. Just enjoy the way our defense is playing. Just enjoy the brilliance of KDB, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan seems to be excellent. Finishing of Foden, Willis suddenly seems to get on to form. So I think we'll take game by game and we'll just enjoy what is happening in each game. I think Jessica says with Sterling gone, and that was a specific thing we spoke about also, right? Because you bring in Haaland and stuff, but when Sterling is there, because of the positions he takes, those chances will fall to him. The chances that fall into your Fodens and stuff, and Grealish, for example, they'll fall to Sterling. So with Sterling and even Gabriel Jesus gone, it's actually a bit of a surprise. Okay, Gabriel Jesus has been scoring goals for Arsenal, but it's a bit different, with Gabriel Jesus. He has the spells where he scores ton of goals, like he did last season, for example, in that Real Madrid when we played that space of time. And then he has a dry spell where he misses open chances. Because if you just go on the web and click, uh, chances missed, highest XG chances missed in the Premier League over the last 3 years. Jesus and Sterling make up the top three. So that will tell you. So Jesus is a little bit in a different way. He misses chances, not to Sterling who misses obviously every game. So uh, people are praising Jesus a bit and all, but there have been Champions League games where we were knocked out because of Jesus missing goals as well. It's not just Sterling. Now, when against Madrid, Jesus should have scored many more. We should have been out of sight in that first leg. How many does Jesus miss? No one talks about that. Southampton are on the edge of the box. Just defend, defend, defend well, defend well. Double up, double up. Just double up on your man. They've done very well. Look at it. Without putting a tackle in, we've just made Southampton take the ball back with them to the goalkeeper, and they're trying to build again now. And City are coming to press. Kevin Bazunu wants to play out a long ball, but maybe he needs some lessons from Ederson to pick out players accurately that long. JSK says can't blame Jesus because of the false nine system. Now with him in number 9, he has been world class. But JSK, even in the false nine system, there were some glaring misses from Jesus, which you can't even imagine a Benzema or Lewandowski or a Haaland miss. I agree that there will be matches where you miss open goals, penalties. That happens to strikers, but in big moments, in big games, and you just can't miss those chances. Top strikers don't miss it. And also, even in a false nine system, a goal scoring opportunity is a goal scoring opportunity, right? Doesn't matter which position you're playing in. So, actually, think Gabriel Jesus. But one thing with Jesus is he's worked hard for the team in terms of the overall thing. He's given so much more for the team than Raheem Sterling, who's exclusively relied on tap-ins to build his career. I'll go on and say that. JSK says, but Sterling is naturally shy at finishing, and you used a small word to describe the stupid finishing of Raheem Sterling. Shite, I can't even describe how stupid Raheem Sterling's finishing is. If not for City, I don't even think he would have been counted in even in the top 30, 40 wingers in the league. If not for the service from Kevin De Bruyne. Phil Foden pressing now. 37 minutes, one more goal. I think let us put Southampton under the pump for the next 4-5 minutes before we get into the break. It's 7 minutes to go. Let us just put Southampton under the pump for these 7 minutes. They are luring Bazunu into a web here, and Bazunu just can't pass out. And City get the ball back. And it's Erling Haaland. The defender got the touch over there at the last moment. It's just been neither there nor here for Erling Haaland, but Erling is on the brink here. He won't rest until he scores in this match. Yes, JSK, I must forgot. I'll do that. Thank you. Manuel Akanji, wow, what a piece of defending there, Manuel Akanji again. Manuel Akanji does very, very well there to, start an attack from out of nothing, picking up the ball. Akanji has been, it's almost a surprise that 17 million pounds and you've got a player who can literally play anywhere across the defense. He can play across the back four, and he can play in the mid as a CDM as well. So you literally have got a player who can play in 5 positions. And Chelsea spent 80 million pounds for Wesley Fofana, and so much more for Kalidou Koulibaly when we have just got 17 million pounds. This has to go down as one of the most shrewdest signings maybe in the recent future for us. Even in the Premier League, it could go down as one of the most value signings. The way Akanji especially started this season just looks rock solid. That's very well done with Joe Cancelo. Just See the confidence in Cancelo now. JSK says Fofana is injured for 2 months. By the way, the problems for Chelsea just they don't just seem to end. And in the transfer market, they just acted like utter nonsense. If you have money, it doesn't mean that you just go out and buy anyone. See, it's not about. I'm not against spending big money for transfers or something like that, but it's again about value. Is the transfer, worth the value? That's the thing. And definitely, I don't think Fofana is worth 80 million. I don't think Cucurella was worth 65 million, whatever it is. I don't even think Koulibaly at this age, 31 or so, is around close to 60 million. I mean, none of the signings that Chelsea have done this season are, value for money. You spend 100 million pounds and you get a Guardiola. Then I'll say you've done a value signing because 19 years, one of the upcoming best defenders in the world, one of the best left-footed defenders in the world, upcoming best left-footed defenders in the world. But nonsense with Chelsea, that's all. Natanake there. What about Natanake? Quietly, Natanake is just having a stellar season there. On the ball, I don't know how Natanake had improved on the ball so much. It almost seemed, at the start of the season that Natanake is the fourth choice centre back. But Pep must have seen his improvement in the training that Pep had started Natanake ahead of Laporte and stuff, even at the start of the season. So, kudos to Natanake for all of his improvement. It's almost that it's not just as a defender, as a personality there. You suddenly feel that Natanake is a strong enough presence in defense. Look at Akanji passing in tight spaces over there. This is just wonderful. This is just vintage City. The way we are passing the ball, the way we are just weaving the ball to Southampton's press. And Joao Cancelo now just gets the freedom of the pitch to just run in. Joao Cancelo just doesn't get the ball back, and it's Erling Haaland, and City get the ball back again. It's Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Oh, the ball's just not reaching Erling Haaland. Today it's Phil Foden, but the ball falls to Joao Cancelo again. The ball's again. I think it will come to a City player, but Southampton get the ball here and they kick it hard, but again the ball will just come back to us. Nothing. Bouncing ball. It's not always easy, defending against a bouncing ball, and it's a foul on Natanake. That is, he did extremely well covering it with his body. That is just wonderful from Ake. Vinay says ball doesn't want to go to Haaland. Vinay, maybe the ball wants some rest from Haaland. Haaland has been bashing it left, right, and center in every game, and the ball is like, not today, mate, not today. How many times will you just hit me into the net? It's just, no, I'm just losing my respect. So don't, please, Erling, don't, not today. That's what the ball is telling to him. But Natanake did very well there. It was almost a high ball. You didn't know where the ball was there. Here it was coming almost from the sun, and a player like Adam Armstrong is bearing down on new player who has extreme pace. Wonderful defending by Natanake. Very well done over there. Joao Cancelo. JSK says, by the way, I still think we need a natural fullback. Is it a left back or a right back? Because for me, I think we need a Kyle Walker successor. But left back, I do not actually think we are in need of a left back, because the way Joao Cancelo has played in that position for the last 2 years, 3 years, I don't think Joao Cancelo thinks of himself as a right back anymore. I don't think the footballing world, I don't think even Pep Guardiola thinks of himself as a right back. I think he's a left back for sure now. Cancelo is a left back. So we have Sergio Gomez, who looks to be extremely good. He's just 21, 22. Cancelo is not that old as well. He's just 25, 26, I think. So I don't think we need a left back now. Right back, I think sure we need one. I think we don't have any options in the right back position at all. I think it would be difficult to get two right backs, but for me, I think maybe you groom Rico Lewis and you get one more right back because Lewis is only 19 or so, so you get a right back who's 27, 28, for example, 2, 3 years, and by that time, Rico Lewis will be ready. Rico Lewis is already ready, but I don't think he's actually ready to start. Oh, JSK says Lewis is 17. Oh, okay, then take add 2 years to Cancelo's age, and maybe then I should remove 2 years from Rico Lewis' age and Ederson. Did the ball just go over him, or did he make a save? I just couldn't see. Okay, 17. Then I think it's again perfect. You get a right back who's 27 and is already almost there, a step. Uh, almost there, at that world class level. So 27, 28, you get another right back, and by the time he reaches your 31, 32, I actually think that Lewis will be ready then 17, 20, 20. Yeah, I think that would be the perfect transition plan. But you never know the way Pep plays. Akanji could be put on full time fullback duty. Riyad Mahrez with a wonderful touch over there. Kevin De Bruyne underlapping, and Kevin De Bruyne. He was just off balance, giving that cross. Otherwise, that's almost a trademark Kevin De Bruyne cross. I think the pass from Mahrez was also a bit heavy. It wasn't exactly in the path of Kevin De Bruyne. Cancelo is 28. I was just thinking it's 26, 27 at the most. But the age, time just goes by so fast that we just don't realize. That's again very well done. Press Gavin Bazunu. Yes, we win the second ball back, and it's Rodri has done very well. Akanji on the ball right now. I think that should be that 30 seconds more in the game. Riyad Mahrez there struggled a bit, I would say, but is slowly growing into the game. And Southampton are on an attack here. Manuel Akanji there, out wide. Very well defended by Manuel Akanji. Excellent defending. But I don't think there's time to take the corner. Is there time to take the corner? I don't think there is any time to take the corner there, and the referee blows his whistle. And City are leading 2-0 at the break. A few talking points, especially with regards to Cancelo. Very happy that Cancelo is finally back in form. The panache is all showing after he scored that goal. It's just, I think, he's almost come back into form at the right time because we play Liverpool next weekend. So I think right time for Cancelo to come into form. It's not that you have to be in form to beat Liverpool now. But what I want is Liverpool to beat Arsenal for sure in the weekend. That is something I want. Just to get rid of those Arsenal fans who are like thinking they are in a title race. Who do they think they are? Getting beaten by United, and Arsenal fans feel they are in the title race. What the hell? And their excuses, we played well against United, but still we lost. That's the thing here. Titles are not won by the nicest people or the people who play well. Titles are won by people who are ruthless. Titles are won by people who score goals. Then, by the logic of Arsenal fans' arguments, Real Madrid should not have won the Champions League at all. Because Chelsea played well against them, PSG played well against them, we played well against them. In a way, Liverpool played well against them. Yet Madrid won the Champions League. So I think Arsenal fans should just get a bit into their senses. For me, I think the experiment with Riyad Mahrez is, it would be funny to tell it, but I think it's actually working because I think the very reason for playing Riyad Mahrez is to slowly get him into form. The fact that he's on the bench for so long, it's understandable that he will be rusty. It's understandable that he will feel, I know he's so experienced, but still he'll feel a bit of pressure with, Jack Grealish, pushing him so hard. seeing Julian Alvarez score goals in almost every game he has started, and still not getting onto the into the first team. So Mahrez, I think Pep wants to relieve that nerves from Mahrez, and he just wants him to get back into the form so that he's just you know he's just ready for certain games. It's almost not like Pep has a winning combination and he plays it in every game. It doesn't work with that like that with Pep. With Pep, it's almost like he analyzes each team, and for certain teams, you need a Jack Grealish, for example, to break their structure. Or for certain teams, you need a Julian Alvarez. For certain teams, you need to play Ilkay Gundogan, making those late runs in. For certain teams, you need a Riyad Mahrez. So when Pep is in requirement of a Riyad Mahrez to break the structure of certain teams, he wants Riyad Mahrez to be ready. He doesn't want Riyad Mahrez to be rusty and low on confidence. Because sometimes when a team is, for example, they're just parking the bus, none of your things are working, they're just so compact in the defense. Quality of Riyad Mahrez, like, for example, the way he strikes the volley on the full from a corner or something, those little things could help unlock defenses. So his beautiful touch, I mean, lot of things. So I think when those moments come, Pep will know that those moments will come through at some point in the season, and he'll need to utilize the strengths of every player to make this season special. So Pep is making himself ready and is making the entire team ready so that they are in form, they are in top condition when the moment arrives, when Pep wants them. At right back, I do think maybe will we go in January for another right back. This is an interesting scenario because Kyle Walker, you already feel that will he might actually be injury prone with the age catching up for him, because when have we seen Kyle Walker suffering so many injuries in a row? I think this is second injury or so of the season. When have you seen him have that in the past? Kyle Walker is a player who can play on a Sunday, then Tuesday, then again a Saturday, again a Wednesday. Last through the last seasons, I played both Cancelo and Walker game after game after game. And when Pep was asked about it, he said that the fitness of Kyle Walker is just amazing. So when have you seen Kyle Walker actually being injured this much? So I actually think Kyle Walker injury prone. Who are our realistic options? So I actually think we need to dip into the transfer window in January with John Stones as well. His injury condition is not quite better, and John Stones is known to be injury prone, so you just can't trust him. What Pep doesn't want is not learn from your mistakes. What Pep doesn't want is get to a quarter final or a semi final even this season against your Real Madrid or someone, and again don't have a right or a left back due to the don't have a right back, for example, due to the injury crisis, and rely on playing I don't know, someone who is not experienced over there. So I think Pep doesn't want the situation to repeat, because even now I actually feel that in that Real Madrid game, people say that we didn't take chances and that's why we lost the tie. But I think we didn't. The going of Kyle Walker in the second leg just turned the tide. If we had fit fullbacks for that leg, we are definitely winning it, because Vinicius is then out of question. His effectiveness is nothing. So I think it's imperative that we find a solution to that right back position in January. You either go and get someone in January, but then again, there's a problem with that. You go and get someone in January. What is the guarantee that he'll adapt to the Pep system? So there are question marks on that. I do think it's especially the fullbacks. Getting an attacker, a midfielder, it's a bit more easier. But getting a fullback play. Um uh, Getting a fullback who can understand the complexities of Pep system, that is the very that is the difficult part in January. we, we'll have to just pray that Kyle Walker, we'll have to hope that Kyle Walker, it's just that he'll have surgery now, that's the news, and he will just get over his injuries. Just showing Erling Haaland's goal, and Haaland was running towards the crowd over there, towards the corner. He thought that he had scored over there in that instant, that one touch finish. I don't know how the ball didn't go in. That finish was so sublime. It's almost that the ball had to go in. So the fullback thing is, I won't say it's a kind of a worry, but Akanji has shown that he can play there. But I'll be keeping a close eye on Akanji as well. Hopefully our physios can do good work with Akanji, and he is not, and he doesn't suffer with injuries, because Akanji is also known to be injury prone at Dortmund and stuff. I think at Dortmund as well, he didn't realize his potential because he's actually been so much injury prone at Dortmund. So our defense looks solid right now, but how do we deal with those injuries remains to be something that could potentially go and define whether our season will be special, or whether we'll just go about our season in a normal way. JSK says, I guess Rico Lewis should be playing a sub in every game unless it's a high intensity game. That's true, JSK. Otherwise, how are you going to groom him? If Pep thinks that at 17 his he at 17 he's good enough to come on as a sub in a few Champions League games and stuff, I actually think that Pep feels Rico Lewis could be the successor of Kyle Walker. But the fullback situation is an interesting one, and the centre back situation is an even interesting one, because you suddenly have so many centre backs who wants to play. You have Ake, you have who's in top form, Akanji in top form, Diaz who's getting into form slowly, Laporte who's itching to get back into the form. John Stones will suddenly find himself, fifth or something. I know he can play in the right back position, but seeing the performance of Akanji here, I suddenly think that Akanji has moved above in the pecking order ahead of John Stones over here in the right back position. Baya says, will Pep employ same back four at Anfield at same places? Baya, I actually think Pep will be forced to em- Pep will be forced to employ some personnel at particular places at Anfield, because Walker is not coming back for Anfield. So see, the question is, will Pep play Sergio Gomez and Joao Cancelo? I think ideally Pep would want to pair Ake with Akanji at Anfield, because the to just deal with the pace of their players and stuff, and he would want Joao Cancelo and Sergio Gomez. I think that could be the best back four for Pep. I mean, it could give you a balance of attacking and defense with centre backs having pace. But I actually think what Pep will do is, but Luis Diaz is a factor here. So I think what Pep might do is he might play Akanji on the right just to deal with Luis Diaz, and Cancelo on the left, just because of his experience of playing there in high intensity games. And I think it will be Ake and Diaz. Diaz just to deal with the physicality of Darwin Nunes. I think two things will decide Pep's choice of centre backs against Liverpool. The physicality of Darwin Nunes and the pace of Luis Diaz. So I think Ruben Diaz and Akanji could play in right centre back and right back positions to deal with that. But again, it depends on how Pep wants to exploit, the right hand side of Liverpool, because Trent is a big weakness over there. So I think Pep would love to play Cancel on the left rather than on the right, just so that he can exploit the weakness of Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he'll play Grealish and cancel on the left, so that they can exploit the Trent weakness, like they did against United. So I actually think the weakness of Trent and dealing with Luis Diaz will form the core part of how Pep sets up against Liverpool. JSK says at Anfield we must exploit their right wing, as we know Trent is shit at defending. Exactly, JSK, and I think certain pieces are also falling into place now. See, Cancelo at left can now he's getting back into form, and he can exploit that. He can exploit the space left behind by Trent Arnold. And Jack Grealish, I think he's got back into the form. Man of the match performance against Copenhagen, did extremely well against United. He seems like a rejuvenated player who's running against defenses since the international break. So I think you can exploit them pretty well with these two players. And I don't think the left of Liverpool is also that strong, especially with Robertson out. It's almost like Phil Foden can also exploit it on the right hand side. But again, the question mark is who will play at right back. has to be maybe Akanji, or maybe it will be Sergio Gomez on the left and Akanji on the right. Sorry, Cancel on the right. The choice will be interesting, but whatever choice Pep makes defensively, it will rely on, like I said previously as well, it will rely on, dealing with Luis Diaz, dealing with the pace of Luis Diaz, because he's been their only source of, inspiration this season. Without them, I think Liverpool would be below top 10. Sorry, in the bottom half of the table. Football Critics says Akanji had played it right back before. He looks good. Football Critics, the thing with Akanji is his positionally, he's so aware, his positional intelligence is so good that you play him anywhere on the football field and he just looks, he just looks at home. Pep told this about certain players earlier, like Phil Foden, like Bernardo Silva, like Zinchenko, that they can play in multiple positions because they just have the footballing intelligence to do that. So I think Akanji can play in multiple positions, and his crossing, his ability on the ball, I think it's just perfect, and he could be more attacking in a way than a Kyle Walker. I think once he gets a little bit more confident playing in the right back position for Pep, I actually think Akanji could work wonders in that inverted fullback system, because Walker was struggling. Teams were leaving Walker on the ball with that inverted fullback system. But now I actually think Akanji is even more good in terms of, driving through the midfield in that inverted fullback system, putting in crosses and stuff. JSK says, and for Chelsea game, we need to use Haaland to exploit their centre back. Reece James is going to be a trouble at the wings. Uh, I think Chelsea centre backs are not that quick. There's a Koulibaly is quick, Thiago Silva is not at all quick. We can definitely exploit them. But it's a Carabao Cup game, so the question there against Chelsea is, will either team play the first team? Because I think maybe Pep might give Haaland a rest. Pep might start Julian Alvarez. So I don't think in this grueling schedule, Pep puts out a first team for the Chelsea game. Maybe he could in a way, but I don't see either of the teams putting it, because Chelsea are already suffering with injury crisis. I don't even see maybe Koulibaly playing that game as well. So Chelsea's defense could be even more slow. I'm just looking at left at Erling Haaland, running at Thiago Silva, running at your Aspilicueta, for example, who will surely play. Football Critics says Haaland, that bull, missed two missed two sitters, but one hit the post, right? Football Critics. I think somehow the ball just, the ball just refused to come to Haaland today. It just didn't fall for him. That's all. He's been in the right positions, but what has to be commended is his patience. His, even though things are not falling for him, Haaland is almost like, patience, patience. I will keep on making the movement. I'll keep on making the runs. I'll keep on moving the right things. What has astounded many footballing pundits, ex-players and all is the patience of Haaland at 22 years age. They say he's almost playing like a striker who's 28, 29 years age. So who's that experience? He's almost playing like that in terms of having the patience to let the game come to you rather than you. We see many young strikers, just David Nunes is a perfect example. Ball doesn't come to him. He wants to get involved in the game, but Haaland is not like that. Haaland pressing early. The half is resumed. It's almost a similar thing. City pressing in a 4-4-2, but now Mahrez is the partner for Haaland and De Bruyne is playing behind him. Nathanaки does very well to retrieve the ball, and it's hit Rodri. Rodri's been excellent as well. I think returning from injury, he's commanded the midfield very well, and I actually think Rodri has. I know this seems ridiculous because Rodri has already been the best in the world last year, but this season I've seen certain improvements in Rodri. He passes forward much more quickly than he did last season. Last season, where he would look to make a defensive pass back, this season is making an attacking pass forward. He just seems to be much more on the front foot this season. He just seems to play a lot more one-touch passing this season, Rodri. That's very well done by Riyad Mahrez, and Kevin De Bruyne is in into that channel. I think he should have whipped it in. First time Kevin De Bruyne, but what a wonderful mesmeric piece of play that was. But I just think De Bruyne just delayed it second or two more, and the Southampton player just came back to make a block. But if De Bruyne keeps getting into them positions, Haaland will surely have a goal soon. This is the second time Kevin De Bruyne has got into that position in this game, so surely City have worked on that. Southampton looking to break now, and City does very well there to retrieve the ball. Ruben Diaz with the ball now. Defensively, you've been very solid. Uh, Adam Armstrong is quick. Stuart Armstrong is quick, but still Ruben Diaz has managed them very well. Because sometimes people think Ruben Diaz is too slow. He's not as slow as Harry Maguire as well. And I don't think speed has anything to do with your ability as a centre back. If you can read the game, we'll have excellent positioning. Speed has nothing to do with it. Speed is just a gift some certain players have and certain players don't. If you start to define your career just in terms of the gifts you have received, then you're not going to go a long way. The best players are those who, despite in spite of not having those gifts, have fought odds on against destiny and gone on to achieve big things. So I don't like it when people think, think to compare centre backs just based on speed. Mahrez gets into great position there. Riyad Mahrez. Kevin De Bruyne chips it over and Phil Foden gets to the ball, but Mahrez was looking that Mahrez is going in confidence. He was looking to cut inside, dribble past the couple and put the ball into the far corner. City recycled the ball back. I don't think in this half Southampton have had any meaningful touches yet, and it's already been 3 minutes. City are just all over Southampton. Joaquin Shallow there. Rodri, what a ball! And that is 3-0. And who else? Who else will score but Riyad Mahrez getting back into form? What a game this is turning out for City. Especially ahead of the trip to Anfield. Riyad Mahrez scoring, Joao Cancelo scoring, all of the players who are not in form, suddenly getting back into form. And that finish, by the way, is not at all easy. That finish is so difficult, almost on the volley, and and the ball from Rodri is just wonderful. The ball from Rodri is just excellent. But that was a volley. That was a volley which is very difficult, and I actually don't think many people in the world can actually score that. That too on the full. That is a Riyad Mahrez special. That is so difficult to score. That is extremely difficult to score. Riyad Mahrez back in form. 3-0. And Erling Haaland hasn't even scored one. It's crazy to think if Erling Haaland goes on and scores a hat-trick from here, that will be scoring, that will be almost getting five goals or more in a hat-trick games. I think that would be another record. City pressing even more right now. The energy is just too much. Joao Cancelo again. That was well defended by Southampton, by Salisu. Otherwise, it should have been 4-0 here. City just looking to finish Southampton off. The ruthlessness is just crazy from us. Now, it's just absolutely wonderful to see City in this kind of a form. Riyad Mahrez with the corner. City come back again with the ball here. City recycle the ball. It's crazy to think, but 5 minutes gone and Southampton haven't had a meaningful touch in this half. 5 minutes gone. Almost no touches in this half, except when they're defending. Zero touches for Southampton, except when they're defending in the box. The dominance is just crazy. It almost seems that we were 2-0 up, but still we have got a rollicking from Pep. And the players are Erling Haaland! Oh, on another day, he would have had at least a praise till now. Erling Haaland. But the positions is getting into is just superb. Wonderful again. Two defenders and still he gets time to manufacture that shot. Defenders are extremely tight on him. That says a lot about Erling Haaland. No other striker in the world could have even directed that at goal. Forget getting the shot away. Kevin Bazuno has been pressed like more than an iron press. City are pressing so mercilessly now. I think it's only time before a Southampton player goes down clutching his legs. The press from City is just unbelievable. Manuel Akanji there 1v1 against Stuart Armstrong. It's actually Adam Armstrong. But Akanji again does very well. JSK says Ortega should come in. I know JSK how much you want to see Ortega playing games for City, It almost feels unfair that he's sitting out, but then Ederson has been so good. He will play in the Carabao Cup game for sure. That is there. Erling Haaland and Phil Foden pressing now. Bazuno hits it long. And Natanake just wins it again. Second ball and Bernardo Silva collects the second ball and Ederson collects it and City get on the bike again. Southampton players are almost waving that this is just unfair. You cannot do this to us. Wave after wave of attack. It almost feels like you want Julian Alvarez to come in and get a couple of goals and Erling Haaland to get a goal as well. It's just very, very early in the game. The game is still very, very young. Just 53 minutes. The scary part will be just imagine this scenario if you score 5 goals and Haaland just gets 1 goal or it doesn't get any. I think opponents will be shit scared. It's like till now opponents are just focused on you need to stop Erling Haaland and City scoring will stop. But if we get 5 goals and Haaland just scores one, it's like shit. Haaland hasn't got anyone. Then how the hell did they score 5? That this will be even more crazy. The pressing is just so passionate. Joao Cancelo there. Joao Cancelo does extremely well. That's a foul, and the foul is from a very good area. De Bruyne can just whip the ball in from here into the box. A curling ball. Opponents will be very, very scared. That City are 3-0 up, and Haaland hasn't even got an assist or a goal. And the other scary thing is if we concentrate on other players, then Haaland will get the goals. And it's not like Haaland doesn't get chances today. The message is we are more powerful as a team and above any individual, be it be anyone, be it be someone who's even the best in the world. Riyad Mahrez and that's just out of the reach of Erling Haaland, which means it's out of the reach of pretty much any football player that you can think of. Joe Cancelo. Phil Foden. I think it's a corner for City, yes. For a moment, Phil Foden thought that it was a goal kick, but it was a corner for City. Kevin De Bruyne. Wonderful ball to Phil Foden. Manuel Akanji, I think he should have just given it to Phil Foden. Oh, almost a good ball, and Akanji gets back and he does the work of retaining the ball back. The work ethic is just amazing for everybody. Kevin De Bruyne with the ball. Erling Haaland almost thought he had a chance to shoot. Riyad Mahrez again. Mahrez to Cancelo. Cancelo back to Mahrez. Still, it's been It's crazy. It's been 10 minutes and Southampton haven't had a meaningful touch. Okay, Armstrong ran, but that's it in this 10 minutes. Can't remember Southampton having any meaningful touches except one or two when Armstrong ran with the ball and when Bazoon was kicking. Rodri, wonderful pass to Riyad Mahrez. Nathan Ake, wonderful touch there from Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden gets there. Phil Foden gives it back to Kevin De Bruyne, a wonderful piece of skill. Ah, that's a penalty. That's a penalty. Erling Haaland, the player just went through Erling Haaland from the back. That's a penalty, guys. That's surely a penalty. I think that's a penalty. Is it? Are they going to check with VAR? I don't know. JSK says, by the way, Pepe's confirmed there is no exclusive release clause for Haaland to Real Madrid in 2024. I mean, in an intelligent way, Pepe told there's no exclusive release clause to Real Madrid, but then Fabrizio Romano was even saying, even telling after that, after Pep made those comments that yes, there is no exclusive release clause, but there is a release clause in Haaland's contract, and Fabrizio just did not want to reveal the amount. He told this is not the right time out of respect. I don't want to reveal the exact numbers of the release clause. So I do think there's a release clause, but there is nothing specific to that only Real Madrid can activate it. That is bullshit. JSK says even if Haaland leaves, I hope he doesn't join Madrid. I just can't stand the club. JSK, one thing is I just want to bash that club so hard in the Champions League this season. Just uh, let them get us in the quarterfinals or so. We'll just humiliate them and defeat them, not just defeating them ordinarily. Last season with that performance, they should have been 7-8 nil down in the first leg itself. We will do something like that to them. JSK says as long as he doesn't join Real Madrid, I don't mind even if he leaves City. But then JSK, the probability is there because he wants to play in the top 4 5 leagues in Europe, right? That is one of his dreams. So when he looks at the Spanish league, there are only two options. I don't see Haaland going into Atletico Madrid, for example. He will either go to Real Madrid or he will either go to Barcelona. And do you actually think that Barcelona, okay, next 4 5 years, whenever he leaves, the financial situation could be different? But see, there is again a 50-50 chance, at least at this point, because there are only two clubs he can go to in Spain. And maybe given their history of, spending big for these kind of signings, for the Galactico signings, maybe, and looking at the fact that Barcelona don't do these kind of a deals, spending so much on a player in wages, there is a chance for Real Madrid, but I just hope he maybe joins Barcelona. I don't know, but the choice is. It's not like I like Barcelona particularly either. Even I just can't stand that club as well. The best thing would be if we can convince Erling Haaland after those 4 5 years to stay at City. Jack Grealish with the ball. Jack Grealish is given that midfield position. Manuel Akanji. Kenji to Riyad Mahrez. Bernardo Silva. Nathan Ake. Bernardo Silva. That's a moment of rest from Joao Cancelo. I would not want to use slack and stuff the words because Cancelo has been excellent. A moment of taking the foot off the gas from Joao Cancelo. Again, I would like to see Rico Lewis come on now, have 30 minutes. I would like to see Cole Palmer come on now. I would like to see Julian Alvarez come on now because the match is pretty much done and dusted. I know you can never say never in football, but pretty much, it's done. Cancelo on his bike, Joao Cancelo running forward, and Phil Foden wants it. Phil Foden wants it, and Joao Cancelo still has it. Cancelo carries it, and it's Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne. JSK says if he joins Madrid, his end will be very disrespectful like Casillas, Ronaldo, Raul, Bale, etc. Exactly, JSK. Or, Real Madrid, it's you sometimes feel that, I mean, that's the truth. It's not I'm feeling, but it's the truth that, Real Madrid, when your utility value is over, they just throw you away, and they treat you almost like you're an article. That's all. You're almost a perishable item. That's how they treat you. They don't give you the love that, for example, you get here at City, or you get even at Barcelona. The way Barcelona treats its players as well is very, very different. So, I mean, if I have to choose between both, maybe I would. Erling Haaland is through here. Erling Haaland 1v1. Was that a penalty? It isn't, because Cassie has got the ball, but Erling Haaland has definitely had chances today here to get to a hat trick. It's your famous Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland one. But Bazoon got to the ball. Haaland thought to just round the keeper there, but Bazoon got a touch on the ball. It's almost similar to the West Ham penalty which Haaland got, but the only thing is on this occasion Bazoon gets the ball. But next week, Liverpool, Haaland will not have forgotten the humiliation in the Community Shield. Not the humiliation, I would say. Haaland would not have forgotten the disrespect he had got in the Community Shield match against Liverpool. So, just Liverpool, be wary what Haaland will do to you. Southampton coming the other way with the ball. It's an overlap. It's Natanake 1v1. And that's very well collected by Ederson there. So if I have to choose between Barcelona and Madrid, actually I would want him to go to Barcelona. At least he'll retain that respect, that heritage and stuff. Not Real Madrid. I just can't stand the club. Generally even in El Clasicos, if I have to take a side when I watch them, I support Barcelona. Especially when Messi was there. Now I don't watch Clasicos as much because they don't have the same charm they had in your 2010s. That era, 2010 to 2017, almost even 2015, I would say 2010 to 2015, that era, in even 2008 to 2015, that era in the Spanish football was almost, you could say, matches were so competitive and good. Joaquin Shallow on the ball. Jack Grealish trying to stand up the player. Joaquin Shallow. And there are no prizes for guessing. There are no prizes for guessing who is on the score sheet. It's Erling Braut Haaland. There will be no game gone by without his name being announced in the goal scorers list in this league. Now, Erling Braut Haaland on the score sheet, and who has assisted him? Joaquin Shallow. Just keep this combination in mind as well. There will be a lot of assists like this as well. Can Shallow, Kevin De Bruyne. Vinicius Haaland already 20 goals, and someone said he all competitions 15 goals and he can't score more than that. Haaland has 15 goals in the Premier League, I think now. Look at the finish. The finish is just, it's just Haaland. It's a difficult finish. It's not an easy finish. But Haaland makes it look easy, that's all. Look at it, two defenders putting in tackles, and he gets the ball almost underneath the two defenders. He just lifts Joaquin Shallow. This crazy Joaquin Shallow is almost still just Haaland's shoulder. And Haaland is still pressing. JSK says Rory already 15 goals exactly in the Premier League, and he's got 20 in all competitions. If I'm not wrong, 5 in the Champions League, right? And and you know what's the Golden Boot winners? goal scoring record last season. I think it's 23 goals. Golden Boot was given last season. Now Haaland will, I think, get to that number by the end of October. Even if by Haaland standards he'll be having a bad month from now on, still he'll get to 21, 23 goals. And Haaland is just two hat tricks away from entering into the 20s region in October. Wow. And by the way, I just think he does it for clicks and stuff, for trolling and stuff. Because the other day he was just telling that Chelsea have a very good chance of winning the UCL with Graham Potter and all of them. So that point I realized this guy is just he just does it for trolls, for clicks and all. He's not your He's not the person who you would want to have a genuine argument with. Rory is not that kind of a person. He's just overdoing it now, I think, for the trolls and stuff. Vinay says Haaland left foot is magic. Just wait until he gets good on the right foot as well. News is coming that he's concentrating on his right footedness in training sessions and stuff. And Julian Alvarez is both footed, by the way. I just want to see that combination of Alvarez, Haaland. I know we're playing so well, but Pep just bring on Julian Alvarez. Look at us pressing even when we are 4-0 up. JSK says, sorry Mohan, but in terms of potential plus, Haaland is much more above Aguero. I actually think JSK, yes, in terms of potential, Haaland could be well above Aguero, but I just think Aguero was always, that if you take Aguero's career at City, I mean, you could at least have got 2 more years out of him if he didn't suffer injuries. He always had that 2-3 months off, right, in between a season. When you count all that, it's almost like every season, 2-3 months, Aguero was injured. Little niggle here, there, he was. Whenever he was getting back to form, he was injured. And also with Aguero, the thing is, whenever he's injured, there are players from injury, they come back, they get on quickly. And there are some players who take time to get in, and with Aguero it was almost like he was injured and then he comes back. He took 2-3 games and then he hit top gear, and then again he's injured and then he took 2-3 games. So if you look at all of the time that has been wasted with Aguero due to injuries, I think you would have got at least 2-3 more years on him, potentially more out of him, at least if he had not got injuries and all, in terms of the lost time. And with those 2 years extra, Aguero would have, I think, been very close to Alan Shearer's record. He would have even come close to breaking it, I think. So yeah, in injuries, I think with Erling Haaland again, the challenge will be to stay as much injury free as possible. But in terms of potential, I think yeah, Haaland is above Aguero. But again, there comes a time when realizing that potential, and realizing that potential is always not in a straight line like we seem to estimate it, right? It always has those little ups and downs with that, and it's about how you deal with those ups and downs that will determine your final potential. So depends how Haaland will deal with the time when there'll be a goal drought, for example, which will, by the way, happen to everyone. How will Haaland deal with the time when suppose he suffers a big injury, and then rehabilitation coming. I mean there will be. I hope he doesn't suffer big injuries in his career and stuff, but there will be phases when it is not as straightforward to reach your potential. But the work ethic of Haaland, and with everything he does, the discipline, the way he looks after his body, I think it's actually absolutely possible that Haaland could break every striking record that is available. Because all of the statistics, all of the graphs in terms of will Haaland achieve his potential or not, we are talking about that with ordinary players. But Haaland is not ordinary, he's something special. Vinicius, have you seen Silva? He's everywhere. Bernardo Silva has also a top form. I mean, it's not that he has lost form, but he wasn't at his absolute peak, especially at the starting of the season. I know the Barcelona things affected him, but Bernardo Silva has been absolutely immense, especially against Man. I mean, after the international break, you had seen. I mean, most of the players have come back in top form. I don't know how is it has happened, how Pep manages to do it, but every season, we aren't from August to September. Generally, I mean, before the first international break, every season we are okay. We don't get off to a fast start, but after the international break, it's almost like we are unstoppable. I don't know what Pep does. Phil Foden on the left and Jack Grealish is there. Jack Grealish is occupying those midfield positions. I think this is coming close towards being a perfect team in every position. You look at the Sergio Gomez has come on. I mean, he's come on a long time, but it's now that I've seen him on the field. But the story today has to be about two players, Cancelo and Mahrez, both searching for form, have just put on a spectacle year, especially Cancelo and Mahrez as well. The volley and stuff, his work rate. Cancelo suddenly is looking supremely good defensively as well. Cancelo, it's almost like he's a confidence kind of a player, and when he's on confidence, he's world class, he's ever world class. Diaz is also looking very, very good. Cole Palmer, look at the dribbling of Cole Palmer. This is just wonderful. It's just wonderful from Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is getting on. Look at the dribbling of Cole Palmer there to wriggle out of tight spaces. That was just excellent from Cole Palmer. CSK says, by the way, Mickey Mount got 2 assists. Chelsea fans will hype him to be the next Lampard. Again, Mason Mount, he hasn't quite lived up to what people have compared him to, especially after that breakout season. Everyone thought he'll be the next Lampard, and he hasn't quite lived up to that. He's had up and down things, seasons from then. By the way, Chelsea are playing Wolves, right? If I'm not wrong. That is why I think they're winning. I'm just itching to play Chelsea right now. In the form they are in. It would just be a battering, all of those 6 goal batterings. Manuel Akanji there hasn't put a step wrong today. Was tested few times, and every time is faced with a 1v1 situation. He's never dived into a tackle once today. He's just put his body in between and is defended extremely well. He's defended with a sense of calm. Just wonderful. Where have you been hiding all this while, Manuel Akanji? I just hope Jack Grealish gets a goal as well, just to top it off. JSK says, by the way, do you think we can dethrone La Masia? I definitely think JSK, it's on the way. We've got the ball running. That's why I think the key to dethroning La Masia will be how these next 4 or 5 transfer windows go. Because this generation is slowly phasing out. In the next 4 or 5 years, at least your De Bruyne's will not be there. They'll be gone. Your Walkers will be gone. All of this. Old crop will be gone. Fernandino is already gone. Your Gundogans will be gone. But Bernardo Silva will almost be on the edge in the next 4 or 5 years. Cancelo will be gone. So the decisions that we take when we are going to replace them, do you again go into the market and do you buy players, or whenever you're buying a replacement for a Gundogan, for example, after 4 years, 3 years, do you look at our academy and say that is a player who is good, who can replace Gundogan available here? If he is, I will not buy it from outside. We'll groom him. So I think if we can employ that mindset, I think we can dethrone La Masia in the next 4 5 years. For me, I think the way we have set up this city project, I think the investment that we've done into the academy, I think in the next 5 years we will surely be getting at least one class of 92 or compared to that easily. I think it's just that we need to trust our players more, and I think our young players more, and I think we as fans should be prepared to have 1 2 seasons where we maybe don't compete for the Premier League, or maybe we are in that sort of fighting for the fourth place and something. I think that is the sacrifice we as fans should also make to just allow this academy to just shoot up. And once the academy shoots up, it's almost like that will be a machine that will just continue to produce players after players. It just takes your first batch of players. For United's academy, it took that first batch of 92, and then it rolled on in that for one and a half a decade. So, and by the way, if you take the opposite decision, for example, of buying a replacement from outside in the market rather than replacing our players who are going out with academy players, then it could lead to a lost generation of super talented academy players. So it could go both ways. We need to be careful here. And Rico Lewis has come on as I speak about the academy. Vinay says, why Grealish can't score? Vinay, I think the curse is he can only lift that curse against Liverpool. And that can be good actually. The header was close. Was it Nathan Ake? With Haaland and Nathan Ake there, it's becoming extremely hard for defenders to mark both of them, because Ake is, I think, in the top three headers in the world. Nathan Ake is that good. People don't realize it. Rico Lewis is coming on. And Pep is consistently giving Rico Lewis 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I think it's a sign that he believes he can transition successor to Kyle Walker. JSK says, by the way, currently our academy is the best in England. It will be the best in the world, JSK. It will be the best in the world. I think that is also the next path for our club to be even more sustainable. See, this season, I think if you look at the balance sheet of 2021-22 annual financial report, I think we have overtaken Manchester United in terms of revenue and stuff, in terms of profit and stuff. So we are at the top of the league. We are sustainable. We are a profitable club. And I think the next step towards nailing down the sustainability and not depending on the owner at all is having a large chunk of your players come from the academy. That means suddenly you're a self-sustainable club which will run on despite whatever might happen with the ownership and stuff. I mean, you're not entirely dependent on owners funds. Then Nathan Ake does extremely well in 1v1 situations. That is very well done by Erling Haaland. It's almost a 3v3 situation. The back there, Cole Palmer gets it, and Cole Palmer does extremely well to get out of a tight space. Palmer is just fantastic. Rico Lewis on the ball. Rico, you could have dribbled, but look at the talent of Cole Palmer over there. Tight spaces. He's just dribbling as if players don't exist. I think this is the third such dribble I've seen in this match by Cole Palmer, and against Copenhagen he had those dribbles. I think Palmer deserves to start against Copenhagen again in midweek, in the coming midweek actually. And another thing, JSK, is that people actually think that City are almost, they're almost the final article, they're almost at the end of their journey. But I think in relation to the entire project, the vision of the entire project, I actually think this is just the early baby steps in the project. The entire project, I think, is to dethrone La Masia and the City Football Group. Just to, I think the entire project is to even scout our players only from the City Football Group. You buy cheap and induce them into the City Football Group, and then you get them very cheaply than the market price in the City Football Group. So suddenly then you're making your entire I mean, the entire world as your academy playground. It's just not that you're, looking for players in your academy to come on. I think this can almost be a revolutionary model in football. There is news that, Manchester United, not Manchester United, Liverpool and Arsenal are kind of looking at this kind of a model. So this model has, this City Football Group, this model has the potential to go far beyond just footballing things. It can, revolutionize how scouting is done, how transfers are done. It could be a huge innovation in terms of the transfer window itself. How do you buy players, the transfer window itself? You, for example, look at Chelsea. What have they been doing in their academy, right? So many academy players are coming through, and then none of them are, getting chances in the first team. From 2012 to 2020, almost, especially in this decade, Chelsea had so many talented young players coming through. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah, there are just a few examples in before that, but so many young players coming through and they've just been rotting on loans, or they've just been, stagnating and nothing. Chelsea had the best youth team, best academy for 10 years, and they just had a lost generation of young players, that's all. So the challenge for City is not let that happen. And it will be interesting to see what we do. And I think the City Football Group model will actually help that in a long, long way. Southampton fans are actually cheering that they have got their first corner of the game, and we're into the last 10 minutes. A perfect, a dominant performance from City. It's just that I want Jack Grealish. I mean, not even Jack Grealish reserve his goal for Liverpool, but I want Cole Palmer to just get a goal and just cap off this, or even a Julian Alvarez to get a goal and just cap this performance off. That is wonderful defending from City. Wonderful defending again, but Armstrong, I think it is, he gets the shot off. City are looking for one more goal here, definitely. And also, I think City have always been different to Chelsea, for example, in terms of their young players. City have, this is what makes us a bit different in terms of dealing with young players, right? Our motto is you we want you to have a good career. You can have it at City if you can, or at other clubs. What you want is the best for your career. I think that is the attitude that City is showing towards young players, and that is such a beautiful attitude to have, right? Romeo Lavia to Southampton, for example. How many times have you seen Chelsea just loan their players out to Championship and lower leagues, right? And City are doing it the opposite way. They're loaning them to, I mean, they're selling them, not even loaning them, selling them to clubs in the Premier League itself so that they can grow in their career as well. So it's a two-way approach, and that's what I think makes our academy extra special. It's more than just a business, especially with the academy players. It's almost that City are showing the care about their careers. So it just feels that something special is going on, not just this season, but the way we are getting through this project. It's just so wonderful. Southampton passed back, and I think their legs might have been gone at this point. Second ball, one more attack, guys. Actually, there's 7-8 minutes left with the extra time at least. So do not concede a goal. That is the main aim. Do not concede a goal. I think now we need to keep a habit of, maintaining clean sheets, one clean sheet after the other. Nathan Ake's 1v1 defending is just extraordinary. It's just so, so good. Bernardo Silva with the ball. Sorry, it's Rico Lewis actually. Rico Lewis with the ball. He switches it to Sergio Gomez. Where did Bernardo Silva come? It was Rico Lewis. Nathan Ake, Ederson. Ederson with a kick out. And I think there was no options for him. He's doing that it more often this season, and that's actually good. Instead of taking a risk when you don't have options, just can just kick the ball out. Southampton on the attack again. That's a good cross in, and that's very well defended by Sergio Gomez. Excellent defending by Sergio Gomez. We have to maintain a clean sheet today. That will be the primary aim now. Can't just leak goals. You have to maintain a clean sheet. That's a good pass, but very well read. Excellent reading of the game by Sergio Gomez, and Akanji is in the right place at the right time. Wonderful defending there again. The reading of the game by Akanji is just out of this world. The intelligent positions he takes up, how many times have you seen Akanji relying on his pace to rescue a defensive situation? And that actually tells you a lot about a defender, his sense of intelligence, his sense of positional sense, his recognition of space. Manuel Akanji again. Rico Lewis, Manuel Akanji. Jack Grealish with the ball. Just drive through the midfield, Jack. The pass just didn't have enough pace on it. That's what Jack Grealish needs to learn from that misplaced pass. In a midfield, if you misplace a pass, then the consequences sometimes could be severe. The other team could actually attack. Look at it, Southampton are on the attack now. That's a free kick to City. What has happened there to Manuel Akanji? Is there something wrong with Manuel Akanji? I really hope not. It's the ball striking his head, yeah. For a moment, I was actually worried that it's some injury or something. Thank God, no. Because he's been superb. Nathan Ake passing the ball out from the back. Sergio Gomez again didn't keep a foot wrong today. Just the intelligence. I mean, defensive intelligence is astounding from. That's a good ball to Cole Palmer from Sergio Gomez. His defensive intelligence is way above Zinchenko. Actually, Cole Palmer does very well, and for a moment I actually thought it just went in, but Cole Palmer. But what a dribble! That was by Cole Palmer. I think Palmer is ready actually to take the baton from Riyad Mahrez. Look at Cole Palmer. They're driving in, driving in, driving in, then cutting onto the outside, and it's the outside of the post. But it hits Kevin Bazunu actually, not the outside of the post. But again, Cole Palmer. I think this is the next step. Cole Palmer, Riyad Mahrez. I don't want us to go for another winger. For me, I think Cole Palmer is the replacement of Riyad Mahrez. Poor giveaway from Sergio Gomez. Sorry, it's a poor giveaway from Rodri, not Sergio Gomez. Very sorry. Do not concede a goal. Don't dare to concede a goal. Erling Haaland. Yes, he's had his goal. Would love another for sure. There could still be time for another Erling Haaland goal. Still, 2 minutes left and City could get one more attack. Rico Lewis there. By the way, the ball from Rico Lewis to Cole Palmer for his attempt was very, very good. It's an excellent ball. We are on attack. Erling Haaland wants this goal. Look at him run. Look at him run. He wants a pass. Erling Haaland will maybe not be happy with that. He wanted that ball played in earlier. But again, City are in attack. We just might end up getting another goal before this game ends. Cole Palmer, Rico Lewis, Rodri, Nathan Ake. Still 1.5 minutes left. That's more than enough time to get one more goal. Nathan Ake. Akanji, City are building out from the back again. That's a good defense splitting pass. Julian Alvarez and Cole Palmer is off. And his intelligence is superb again. Just keeps hold of the ball. Nathan, the time's not there. Just going for another attack, and that is very good. Jack Grealish. And the referee didn't give Jack Grealish a foul, I think, over there. Aymeric Laporte sitting on the bench. He's wondering when he'll get the chance, but he'll get a chance against Copenhagen for sure. And why he hasn't got a chance as substitute is because he played a part in conceding a goal against United. So you make mistakes, you're on the bench. There's no two ways with Pep Guardiola. Bazunu kicks it long. And Erling Haaland on the ball. Haaland pressing. That's that. 4-0 winners. Winners against an opponent that proved to be an Achilles heel. Last season we couldn't get full points against them twice last season. How many clubs have made City drop points twice last season? And seeing a 4-0 score line, you would think maybe Haaland doesn't would have had another hat trick. But today's game tells you about how City can still score fours and fives even if Haaland doesn't have a hat trick or even if Haaland doesn't score. Today's game tells you that City are bigger than any single player in the team. City are bigger than Haaland. City are bigger than Kevin De Bruyne. We are bigger than every individual player that is in the team. So today's display was, I think, it was more about cohesion. It was more about team play. You saw that intricate passes even more. Between Joao Cancelo, Riyad Mahrez, there were intricate passes. Between Jack Grealish at the end. Bernardo Silva was playing some neat triangles with Manuel Akanji. For me, the game again, like you were talking at halftime, was about Cancelo getting back into form and was about Riyad Mahrez getting into form. But the one player who's impressed me is Cole Palmer for me. He had a cameo appearance for what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and wow, the way he's dribbling. There was an instance at the end where Cole Palmer was dribbling, and then suddenly he realized that he was on the bike, and suddenly he realized that the opposite fullback is also as fast, and he suddenly chops back and stops and gives the ball to Jack Grealish to continue the move. See, you need to have so much of a maturity to, in fact, understand, that the player might catch up to me and I might lose the ball. Cole Palmer is displaying maturity beyond his years here, and his dribbling technique is a bit unusual and it's so effective. Every dribble he's attempted today has come off. I think he's attempted 3-4 dribbles today, and each one has beaten the man. Each one has come off, and he should have actually had a goal as well. But Gavin Bazunu makes a nice save. Rico Lewis for me also looked very well. There were 1-2 passes, especially his pass to Cole Palmer, for example. It looked absolutely fantastic. It was, Enrico Lewis is just 17, but you could almost sense a fullback who is having that attacking talent of a Trent Alexander-Arnold and those kind of Roberto Carlos, those kind of a players. I'm not comparing Rico Lewis with the Roberto Carlos here. That is not the thing, but he has the talent there. Now, what Pep needs to do is he doesn't end up like a Trent Alexander-Arnold being weak defensively. Pep needs to grow him into that role, teaching him the importance of defense. He already has an attacking thing in him. Just think what Trent Alexander-Arnold would already be if he had the defensive aspect in him. So I think Pep realizes that with Rico Lewis, he should not do that mistake what Klopp did with Trent in terms of that defensive thing. But Rodri for me was again back. It almost seemed that Gundogan is playing, Rodri is playing. There's no difference. But with Rodri playing, it's almost like you have more of the defensive cover. And attacking wise, I think with Gundogan it's more of a dynamism attacking wise, so it's uh, almost different in that sense. But again, I think Rodri out injured for 2 games, and Gundo and Pep had to obligate and play Gundogan over there. It gave Pep now it has given Pep another dimension. He can look at trusting Rodri because one of the things was, can Rodri play every game in October? And the answer is obviously no. So now Pep, especially with Gundogan's performance in the last 1-2 games, Pep has realized that he can rely on Gundogan, especially in certain games where opponents park the bus and stuff. Gundogan is almost playing like he's in the top 3, top 5 CDMs in the world. Actually, he's playing that well. So in that CDM role, his passing, his dynamism. So I think Pep will pick games for Gundogan and Pep will pick games for Rodri, especially in games where the opponent's attackers are a bit more fast and it's an attacking game from the opponent as well. I think Pep will play a Rodri over Gundogan. Erling Haaland quietly had his goal. Phil Foden suddenly looks comfortable playing on the left and on the right on both sides. I guess against Liverpool, maybe he might start on the right. We never know. Jack Grealish getting his chance in the midfield looked very good again. Maybe misplaced 1-2 passes in the midfield, but he was very very good. Jack Grealish. So overall, a positive performance from everyone. Nathan Ake looked again flawless. He looked as if Nathan Ake, almost whenever I see him as a centre back for City, it's almost like he almost sends, he has that persona, he has that personality, like he sends out a message that till the moment I am on the pitch, I dare you to score a goal against me. That's the message that Nathan Ake sends actually to attackers. I think till the time he's on the pitch, I mean in all the matches is played, I think we haven't conceded many goals. Southampton, West Ham, Nathan Ake played, we didn't concede a goal. I think it's in that phase when he was injured actually. And Aston Villa we conceded, but you must remember he went off in that phase. Okay, United also he went off, I think, as a substitute, and then we conceded. So this season, Nathan Ake, whenever he's been on the pitch, it's just been excellent. And Manuel Akanji again, he's been very very good. Manuel Akanji, right back, centre back, left centre back, right centre back. The only position that's left for Pep to try him is left back position. But the thing is, with his positional sense, with his intelligence, he can even play in a striker position. So that's the power of Manuel Akanji. Again, suddenly the entire back line is now filled with leaders. You can see there is Manuel Akanji, there is Nathan Ake, who's captain Bournemouth, who looks a leader. Akanji is a leader. Maybe Cancelo is the one who's not quite into that leadership type. Ruben Diaz is a leader over there. So suddenly your entire backline is filled with leaders. Your entire backline is filled with stalwarts. These are the personalities you would want to be playing for you on a Champions League night, difficult night. Against Real Madrid, if these three would have played in that backline for us, Ake, Diaz and Akanji, I don't think we would have considered later on in that second leg, that communication, that leadership, that sense of motivation, inspiration, this three given that sense of organization. It's just wonderful, that communication, and they play without egos. That is the best thing about them. And Rodri is also a leader, is getting into that leadership mode. So suddenly in your entire backline, you have 3-4 leaders out of 5-6 players. This is just a team this is a special team for me. A team that has qualities beyond talent. This is a team for me that has qualities beyond just footballing skills. This is a team that has sense of personality. There's a team full of people who say, people who put their hand up in adversity, people who put their hand up in darkness. This is such a team, and it is very rare. You find individuals, one or two individuals. It would be great if you find one or two individuals in a team with that kind of quality. But in this team, there are certainly six, seven individuals who, when the things go tough, when the darkness comes, they put their hand up and say, "I am there." Bernardo Silva is one, Ake is one, Akanji is one, Ruben Diaz is one, Rodri is one, Haaland is one. I've already named Phil Foden is one. De Bruyne is one. See, I've already named 7, 8 players out of the first 11 who, in darkness, don't shirk away from taking the ball. This is wonderful. This team is going to transcend all of the footballing traditions. This team is going to go beyond what people remember a footballing team for. They will remember us. They will remember this team for far, far greater qualities than a footballing one. This is special, guys. Already in October, I'm feeling not just, and I'm telling that this team is special and could go on to achieve something special. Not just because they have Haaland who can score 50, 60 goals and break the record. Not that they have Kevin De Bruyne. Not that they have Bernardo Silva who are world class, who are beyond world class. But it's because as a team they're even more powerful than your individual players. See, even if you look at those great Galacticos team, which Madrid had, for example, it all ran on individuals, right? You could pick out Zidane, David Beckham, or you could say Cristiano Ronaldo in later years, and all of you could pick out individuals. Kaká, you could pick out individuals from those teams. Pepe, Xabi Alonso, individuals. But this team doesn't feel like that. This team doesn't feel like it is made up of individuals. Neither is it dependent on an individual. If you see the kind of goals that have been shared throughout the team today, so it is absolutely special. Despite having world class players, despite having the best players in at least three positions. Bernardo Silva, the best player in the box to box. Rodri, the best CDM in the world right now. Kevin De Bruyne, the best creator in the world right now. Erling Haaland, the best striker in the world right now. Your four best players in the world right now, and yet your team stands out more than those players. This is special. Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo, but in City, for example, in those days, but in City, it's made of different kind of. I mean, lot of players. You suddenly have to pick. It's hard to beat individuals. This is just wonderful. The season will be special, guys. Just enjoy. What I would say is just enjoy every moment of Haaland, of Kevin De Bruyne. Just enjoy every game, every pass, because at the end of the season, the journey is gonna be so much wonderful, and I hope the result will be that as well. So just enjoy every moment. This team will achieve something special this season. I don't know why I don't have any stats to back it up, but I just feel it from my gut actually. Anyway, guys, I do hope you've just enjoyed the watch along. Thank you so much for the comments. It's been wonderful interacting with you all, guys. See you all, guys, and take care.